I'm Ramona Africa, Minister of Communication for the MOVE organization. I am the sole adult survivor of the May 13, 1985 government bombing and murder of my family. I am a representative of the International Concerned Family Friends of Mumia. I'm a former political prisoner. I did 7 years in prison for surviving that massacre. But most importantly, I am a revolutionary disciple of John African, Newz founder. And I don't hesitate or back up or apologize for saying I am a revolutionary.
So the first question is, how did I prepare for fatherhood? I didn't. Fatherhood is an on-the-job training, and you can only be qualified by doing it.
Your fake followers, that's not the move. But from the solid type, I'm approved. Stuff for who I'm comfortable. What I got to prove. Zach tried to warn me. Most will not before me. Won't like it or post a comment, but they watch a story. Might be yanking sleep, but they eyes beyond me. Won't believe till I'm on that podcast with Nori. Or Flat TV, next to Lazada BP. Envy ran me like See the God and Angela Yee. And got a nerve to tell me keep working. Like I don't know, they hope I fool, keep lurking. Creating my own wave, keep surfing. Spitting pain is a layup like G. Gervin. Big blade for lyricism returning. So many accolades, P earned them. I can't have said it, tell them lay embedded. Just have my money straight, I ain't taking debit. They ain't gotta like me long as they respect it. Ain't no ones that fronted on me know that they regret it. I'm making way more noise than they expected. Control the game while they the contestants. Legendary King P's, and I'm here to make it great for MCs. Again, I chose to make a lane before I played the game. So never in jeopardy to gain a name. I knew the sun would shine for all the days of rain. I wish everybody would. Can y'all say the same? Unify, die. Let's build each other up instead of crucify. Unify, die. The best is yet to come, follow the signs. Some just had a skill and some don't. Some will and some won't. But who am I to judge? Well respected and connected, making moves without a plug. Westbrook flows and boosts, I drop a triple dub. They hoping I lose, but they know how I move. Stand on my lonely, letting nothing hold me, showing I prove. Shine bright, me and this mic tight like Smokey and Cube. Stick together, these peasants don't want no smoke, keep it cool. Please advise them, stop imitating, I see them jotting. City on my back in this way and I need no proxing. Lane tanking they stuff, no need to mop them. Ain't fading PZ, AC/DC, I keep it rocking. Grew up in the time when they was junior black mobbing. I was on the stoop wildin', bumping Coochie rap bobble. For the rise, I see it vivid. Off the top, no need to script it. On my grind of reaching ticket planes and stopping me, forget it. Jewel dropper, solid as a rock, I move proper. Got true honor, my word is my bond. Superb with wordplay, I ain't got a curse when I rhyme. None before me, none to come. First of my kind, can't spin me with a 360. Put way too many hours in. Time to strip in the city. Babies need empowerment. Herpes staying bottled in. Murder rate towering. The game been in need of relief. Is you following? I chose to make a lane before I played the game. So never in jeopardy to gain a name. I knew the sun would shine for all the days of rain. I wish everybody would. Can y'all say the same? Unify, die. Let's build each other up instead of crucify. Unify, die. The best is yet to come. Follow the signs.
Peace and love, family. This is Brother Farugh Ma'at, Executive Director of BMa'at Inc., which is an expanding foundation that supports and empowers families through cultural and educational programs and partnerships. We are discussing why fathers are important, which is a topic that's near and dear to me, so let's get it. And so there was no preparation, there was no blueprint, there was no, I didn't have, my father wasn't around. So I had to learn fatherhood through trial and error, a lot of error. But I was hell bent on providing my children what I didn't have, right? And what was missing in my life. So he did prepare me for fatherhood. It wasn't the traditional sense. I just knew what I didn't want my children to experience. And through that came all the lessons and all the commitment and the resistance, the persistence to be the best father I could possibly be And my goal was to be a real father, not to be this Disney, whatever. I just want to be the best father I could be and be a real one, right? Expose them to all my errors, my mistakes, and the outcome has been beautiful.
Yeah, Philly, stand up. Welcome to the kingdom of the grinders and hustlers, where the pastor preach and the Muslims be covered up. The Genos and the Poppies whip it up for a bunch of us, using bulletproof glass while serving their customers. City floors abundant with Dutches and rubbish, dirt bikes popping wheelies while their engines erupting. Breakers is on the side when them doors get to shutting. You gon' watch them go to work once they speakers is dumping. On the L riding through Henderson where the Ricans be living in, using fire hydrants when there ain't no way for them to swim. Boosters on the strip selling like it's a hobby. Side game gorgeous, but they Air Jordans is Aki. You can find me in the underground, rocking them stages in notable places, recognized by multiple faces. Down north, south, and west, uptown and the rest. Philly stay fly like the MEAGLE. Yes, so yes.
The home of the slow grind, where we all get into it in no time. Going hard in the field, the O-line winning cause we keep it real. That's no lie. I represent the home of the slow grind, where we all get into it in no time. Going hard in the field, the O-line winning cause we keep it real. That's no lie.
Yo, welcome to 215, lyrically the home of the ill, with crowd spaz if you false, representing the real. From south to southwest, West Philly to north, every day is a different hustle, from the Oyus to the Newports. Early morning run-ins, OGs stacking cans again. Offer the homeless food, they turn it down to take your stash again. So much going on in our city, the tourists passing in. Flash mobs died, so schools never had to clash again. Rocky Step statues, landmarks, the best zoos. The Eagles beat the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. Sean Smith got the Roots co-sign, he winning too. All of the above, shutting down every interview. I'm telling you, it's in our physique, simply unique. Who got the whole world yelling out free meat? We never weak, through the pain we still rise up above. I'm happy to be from the city they call brotherly love. What's
The
up?
home of the slow grind, where we all get into it in no time. Going hard in the field, the O-line winning cause we keep it real. That's no lie. I represent the home of the slow grind, where we all get into it in no time. Going hard in the field, the O-line winning cause we keep it real. That's no lie, homie.
My city always getting televised, yeah, get real. Young and steady, whipping white, staying strapped with the steel. Squad cars should be y'all tour guys. Y'all couldn't bear the minutes, killers ready with them hammers. Yeah, we got them real mechanics. Yeah, real good with machinery, but it's a different scenery. Besides the violence, Philly be the place that people dream to be. And you can easily become in love with the culture. Just keep it authentic, see we could do without all the vultures, cause they be drawn like these other cities who be singing John. Acting like they made the slang after hearing me perform. We the winning team every time we go against the norm.
In the field heavy,
Haters find it hard to keep the score.
focus never slacking, we just stacking to build a rapport. City full of legends that's cemented on floors.
From the roots to state property, Will to Jill, Scott and Eve, top commodities. Homie, this is where you gotta be. P-H-I-L-L-Y, representing P-H-I-L-L-Y, representing P-H-I-L-L-Y, representing P-H-I-L-L-Y, P-H-I-L-L-Y, representing P-H-I-L-L-Y, representing P-H-I-L-L-Y, representing P-H-I-L-L-Y.
The many lessons that I have learned through them, it's been a blessing, and I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world, man. I wouldn't change anything. I am a really good dude based on the fact that I had these girls and all my children, but specifically my girls, because we had, I raised them by myself. And so we had a lot of bonding happening because I was the only parent that they had. And so present, I should say. The mom was not around, but she was living, they talked to her, but as far as the day-to-day needs, that was my responsibility. And I wouldn't change anything. It was the toughest, most beautiful experience that I ever had in my life, and I wouldn't change a thing about it. Man, that was a great question. Woo. So dealing with transparency, that was huge for me. Because, as a dad, you want to be strong, you want to be confident, you want to be self-assuring. And the transparency part is tough, but it's real, right? It's real. And I share with them all the things that the loneliness, the feelings of not being good enough when my dad, and I share all that with them. And so this is why I was so committed through the mom trashing me and bashing me and everything else that was involved. My daughters asked me, why did I stay? Why did I stay in spite of the disrespect, in spite of the tearing down of the character and things like that? Why did you stay? And I stayed because first, it's a sense of duty. And again, I didn't want my children to not know who their dad was, not have that bond. And in that, what's the word? To deal with that, in me fathering them, my inner child was healed through me fathering them, which I didn't expect that, right? I didn't realize how much trauma that I experienced by my dad not being there. But all that came out of trying to do the right thing with my children. And so trying to do the right thing with my children healed all of my inner child wounds to where I was able to forgive my father for not being there and have a conversation with him and find out his story. But I wasn't able to find out his story and sit through his story until the inner child trauma has been resolved. And that happened by dealing with my children, trying to be the best father I can be for my children. So it's amazing how the Most High orchestrate the whole ordeal to where even though that absence happened, but it happened for a reason, right? It's amazing that even in his absence, he was still teaching. Yeah, I mean, and those lessons I was able to share with my children and to make our bond stronger. And in that, heal my relationship with my dad to where he's now involved with his grandchildren's lives. And it gave him a second opportunity to kind of mend his mistakes. Family it's amazing. It's amazing. And fatherhood is, I always make the statement that fatherhood perfects the man. And it's so true. You're missing your biggest rites of passage if you're not involved in your children's lives. You're missing the biggest part of your evolution and missing the biggest part of bringing out the best qualities of yourself, man. You got to be there. You have to experience that.
So I'm hanging out with my cousin and a few people that he works with. Him and I are both dads, so I say Black fatherhood. One of his coworkers decides to drag a joke through the conversation, says, that's kind of an oxymoron, right? You know, Black fatherhood. Anybody who knows me knows that my hands are two pots that are always full of water, and my temper is a gasoline stove that only a few people know how to turn off. When he said it, I clenched my fist so hard I thought I saw steam leaking through my fingers. I wanted to swing. I wanted to turn this man's face into a meal, but instead I said, Zoe. I said, Zoe. And my daughter's name became 2 ice cubes in my hands. It was the only thing that stopped them from boiling over. I looked at him and I said, my little girl saved you today.
I don't know if there was, that's a great question. Excellent question. I just, man, you are the best. So I don't think there was so much of like overcompensation because we didn't have a lot, but it was definitely, I think I overshared, um, overshared a lot of my trials and tribulations, my struggles, um, with them and for them. Um, and like I said, like as we discussed, I didn't have to say a lot of things about their mom. Like their mom would bash me and talk smack and stuff like that. And I'm not going to be engaged, and I'm not engaging in that. But my daughter was extremely upset. Both of them were, but especially my oldest daughter. My oldest daughter was extremely upset with her mom. And, you know, and some of the things that I shared, um, not in a derogatory state, but it's just being honest. She asked me a question. I just was being honest about it. And I had to tell her, you still have to respect your mom. You still have to show reverence to your mom because without her, you wouldn't be here. And, you know, she did her part. Her part was to get you here. You know, sometimes that's the only job that the parent might have. The parent might only be, their job might be to get you here. And everything else after that, they're not responsible for, right? They're not obligated to do so. That's a choice, right? And just like I chose to stay, and I chose to choose to be accountable and responsible, but that's a choice, and so I'm not obligated to do that. But in the oversharing and those life lessons, I see my girls now as adults. They have appreciation for life, and they have a resilience that's unmatched, to where they're working a job and going to school and going to a trade school. You know what I'm saying? And it's like just to watch them accomplish all the things that they want to accomplish in their dreams. I didn't think me sharing would supply that or ignite that. I think it did through the conversations that we have today. Um, it's amazing, the women they have become, um, based on just being real, just keeping things 100. You know what I mean? Like it's like we hide so many things from our children, thinking they're not old enough or mature enough to handle the things, uh, like real life conversations, and they are, you know. And even if they can't understand 100% grasp what it is that you're saying, but a seed has been dropped. And so that's your job. Your job is to drop that seed so when life happens, those lessons will come up and they'll be able to use those lessons to further their cause, you know, and to help them to avoid the traps that society has set for them. And so, you know, I've been told many times that I share too much with them girls. And looking back on it, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't listen to my moms and everybody else who was just saying that that's too much. It's not. It's not. And like we know the world that our children will inherit, and so we have to prepare them for that, right? We have to prepare them to be able to be a productive citizens for their people and for themselves. And so, yeah, that's a great question, bro. That's a great question. I never thought about it from that perspective before. And, now with that question, I'm able to reflect and just like, damn. Yeah, that was good. Good question, bro.
And the way in which they raised us. Whoever taught black men to be fathers? I think we're doing a good job considering. An excellent job considering what we've been through. We were never meant to be men. We were never meant to be fathers, because if we were fathers on the plantation, it meant that our children would listen to us before they listened to the person upstairs.
Great point.
And the moment we had any type of control on the plantation, they sold us or killed us, because they had no room for anybody with power. Black people on plantation. So now here we are, 1865, so to speak, and they emancipate us, and now we're supposed to be fathers. Well, who taught us how to be fathers? From cradle to the grave. We're never fathers. We had no example of what a father was. The best that we had was Fiddler. Kunta Kinte had Fiddler. That was the best he had for a father. Now we're just coming up what Bob Marley calls our sleepless slumber. And now we're coming to realize what a father really is.
Cultural identity. Life-saving. Life-changing, life-saving, life-enhancing. And I'm gonna just keep this brief as far as with that, because from age 0 to 14, 15, I hated who I was. I did not like who I was. I didn't like African people. I didn't want to be associated with African people. And then I met Redmond Battle from the UNIA, and he gave me a book, Journey on the Songhai People. And I read that book, and then I went to school and learned about Malcolm X, and then read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and my life was changed forever. And I did not know that I didn't know about Malcolm X. I didn't know about the struggle. I didn't know about positive self-identity and the importance of coaching. I didn't know about our majestic features. I looked at our features as, a curse. And it was through those books that I learned that our majestic features, there are majestic features. There's positive things, associations with the big nose and the big lips and the dark skin and then nappy hair, the coarse hair, and things like that. And then I learned about Ida B. Wells and Nat Turner, and it just went on and on and on. And it just changed my worldview. I started loving myself, and I just started loving my people. I started loving Africa. And with that, I started treating myself better.
Who taught you, please, who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God gave you.
I started treating my people better. I started seeing the possibilities. I started seeing the divinity in my people. I wasn't so quick to judge them and just look at them as the curse of the world, right? And so you probably didn't even think that I despise African people, but from 0 to 14, I despise African people. And so moving forward to just really being with the UNIA and taking children to Africa, to Kemet and Ghana and Tanzania, and creating now a bridge with Tanzanian people, well, Mama C from the Black Panther Party, and now we're looking at relocating. And so it's just amazing to go from hating African people to having such a love affair with them. And it's been an amazing journey. And how I got my children involved, and I didn't force their hand. And that's the beautiful thing. My daughter talks about it all the time, how I didn't force them to be pro-Black. I didn't force them to read these books. And I didn't force that way of life on them. And I just let them have their own journey, right? And that came from talking to certain individuals in the community where, I'm not going to drop names, but listening to the stories of some of our revolutionary people that we look at and admire for the works that they've done, and talking to some of their children who's very anti-African, anti-pro-Black, anti-Pan-African, you're like, how the hell that happened? Like, how you come from this lineage, this legacy, and not be Pan-African, right? But to them, we reverent these individuals, and they hated these individuals. I didn't want my children to have that experience, right? And so I just was living the life. And by me just being the example, intrigued them to coming into it, right? And so they came into it in their own way. And now they more radical than I am. Right? And they more radical than I am. And I didn't even, like I said, I didn't have to hammer that in them. And I think that's the beauty. I gave them an option. I'm like, all right, you got this, the world that we in, but this is our alternative. If that doesn't work for you, then you can work with this. And I think that's the best way, because our children are really not our children, right? They came through us, right? So they come here with their own mission, and I understand that. They come here with their own mission, their own purpose, and we're here to facilitate that. I don't know what that is. But I'm just going to give them the best of me, and hopefully that will help them be the best version of themselves and fulfill their purpose. So it was easy for me because I just did me, and they just pick and choose what works for them and what didn't work for them, and they created their own way, and it serves them best. And I'm just really proud that the legacy moves on. The legacy of Pan-Africanism is going on beyond me. And so that's super exciting. And it wasn't hard work. Like, I just did me, and they just grabbed what they like, made it their own, and moving forward with it. So yeah, my children, yeah, we did good. So, BMa'at Inc. Wow. This has been a passion of mine. I didn't know what the name of it. I didn't know the name of it, but I just know since the age of 12, I seen how the families was broken, and I always wanted to kind of help bring the pieces back together, right? The fatherless homes, the children that wasn't able to go anywhere because the single mothers was scared to have them go off the block because of gang banging and violence and drugs and stuff like that. And so my contribution to that was that I took my allowance money and I took the children, asked the parents, can I take the children to the playground, which was a couple blocks down. And so we took the children down and we just had conversations about what they want to be, what they want to do when they grow up, challenges that they're going through in that, in that environment, in school, in life. And it was beautiful. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I just wanted to provide an escape for the children and provide an outlet for the children, even though I was a child myself at the time. But again, my father not being there, I just wanted them to have an outlet and escape and a positive male role model, right? And nobody else was doing it, so I chose to do it. So that was the beginning of BMa'at, and I didn't know that at the time. So went on to that, to Rites of Passage program at the UNIA. I was part of that. Then went into partnerships. I did a lot of partnerships with different other organizations that were doing things, like the Dessert Club, where we was taking children to Ghana and Kemet every 3 years. They had to do a 2-year program, and then after they finished the 2-year program, they earned a trip to Ghana and Kemet. And so I started working with them. Then I started doing with Temple University, with PASEP, with Uni Odom. So it was just like I was just constantly in this work of just working with youth and empowering youth in that space where I was empowering youth. We was empowering families because the information that the youth was taking back to their families, they was now teaching their mothers and their siblings about the things that they was learning. So, which was extremely powerful and beneficial. So moving on, like I just was doing this work. And then I got to learn about Ma'at and the benefits of the 710, and the 42, the 7 virtues of Ma'at, the 10 principles of Ma'at, and the 42 declarations of Ma'at. And then I was watching like other channels and stuff like that. And I was watching all these debates about who's more educated, or who's the leader, who's the specialist, who's this, that, and that. And they was tearing each other down in a space of talking about Ma'at. And I'm like, yo, but that's not Ma'at. You know what I mean? Like, that's not Ma'at. So a thought came to mind is that if we just simply be Ma'at, just simply be these virtues, simply be these principles, certainly just be these declarations, then we won't have to fight. That we won't have to, if we just simply be these things and be the example, there's nothing to discuss, right? It's just like, just be Ma'at, just be. So that was in 2010 when that concept came to mind. And yeah, and we just started doing the Rites of Passage programs through BMa'at. We started doing workshops, started doing events. That's when we started doing events. We started doing events 2015. We started doing a Black Love event, started doing AID African Independence Day events. We started doing all these cultural events, just to introduce people to the culture and introduce them to traditional holidays and the cultural clothing and the foods, and just introducing people to culture. And through that, it was now we got a clothing line, which I'm rocking. So we got a clothing line now. We are now in the schools teaching rites of passage programs and partnerships. We're now going to different organizations teaching basic drumming, independent like introductory drumming classes, doula training. Man, we just involved in a lot, and a lot of these things are through partnerships. Like, these are not BMa'at programs, but what we do, we provide scholarships, we provide funding, we provide support, and we provide whatever those partnerships need to flourish. That's what BMa'at is there for. And so basically, what I want first and foremost, what I desire and what I envision for BMa'at first and foremost is I want us to be a personal transformation hub for African people, right? So we see all these personal development programs. Everybody has a personal development program, but it's not African-centered, right? And so I've been to seminars with Tony Robbins and Les Brown and things like that. And so I just want to take those life lessons that I learned with them and put a Pan-Africanist spin on it, and help us come out to reenact or reignite our African consciousness, because that's what's missing. And so, yeah, man, it's been a beautiful journey. We really get ready to take it to the next level, and we want y'all to be a part of it. So, when you get the opportunity, go to BMa'at Inc. www.bma'atinc.com. Follow us on all social networks. We are on IG. We are on Facebook. We are now on what's the name? We're all social media. We are on all social media. So you want to see what it is that we're doing, or you want to support what we are doing, just hit us up, man. And that's it.
Hypno music.
Yeah, gotta let it go. Knees on the ground and I let it go. Yeah, I'm loving my life. Yeah, I'm loving my life. Yeah, gotta let it go. Hands on my knees and I let it flow. Living my life. Yeah, I'm loving my life. Shake it down to my left. Shake it down to my right. Reach towards the sky and widen round and feel fine. Shake it down to my right. Shake it down to my left.
So another great question. Rites of passage programs. And so we do it for the youth and we do it for men as well. And we do touch on many life skills and entrepreneurial space skills, right? But we spend a lot of time, a lot of effort on de-escalation and self-defense, right? And we go deep into building your emotional vocabulary, because a lot of times we get angry, get upset because we can't articulate what it is that we're feeling. And so we go through exercises about how to develop and expand your emotional vocabulary and your emotional intelligence and your emotional bandwidth, because that's important. Because if you're in the position to articulate what it is that you're feeling, and then that person has the emotional bandwidth to understand what it is that you're trying to communicate, then you have a better chance of having a fruitful outcome. We're not focusing on that. The world, the society that we're in, don't want that for us. They want us to be emotionally charged up to where we get a snap like this. And you'll see the results of not having the emotional bandwidth and emotional intelligence and emotional vocabulary. And so when you don't have those things, it produces frustration. And when a person is frustrated, the baseline is anger. And if your baseline is anger, what you going to do? You're going to hurt the person that hurt you. Hurt people. And so we spend a lot of time dealing with that. We form partnerships with groups like Black Guns Matters, Black Man Heal, Black Man Heal, Black Man Smile, Father's Day Rally Committee, and several other groups that offer free therapy sessions. And so yeah, just hit us up with that. So we do the therapy. We have partners, again, that's clinically trained and professionals to deal with that, and it doesn't cost you anything to do that. Our organizations, our partners fund those things for you. So if that's an interest, hit us up with that. Then we do have partnerships, like I said, with Black Guns Matter, where if you are proficient in the emotional aspect of it, then there's de-escalation tactics and strategies that you can also learn to kind of derail the conflict, right? Or de-escalate the issue and sometimes avoid the conflict altogether. And so we have those as well. But then we also have, because we do live in a violent society, our reality is that we're in a state of war, whether we want to acknowledge that or not. So you do have to have some form of self-defense. And so we do basic self-defense as well through partnerships. And then we have basic arms training as well with Black Guns Matter. So anything that you need to protect yourself and the ones you love, we can assist with that. So again, it goes through those phases. We go through the phases of healing. First and foremost, we go through the strategies, the de-escalating strategies, and then for our men, we do have self-defense for the boys as well, the self-defense piece. But for the men, we also have partners to where you can learn basic arm training as well. Gun safety, gun locks. Sometimes we provide gun locks, gun lock boxes. So yeah, I really enjoy that work, because that's part of the healing, right? That's part of the healing, and we have to focus on the healing. And so we do like the breath work, we do tai chi, we do yoga, samathawi, which is comedic yoga, but it's called samathawi. So everything's coming from a Pan-African perspective. Everything that we do is coming from a Pan-African perspective. So yes, those are the 3 levels we deal with, as far as with like self-defense, and with the healing. We deal with the healing as well. We deal with that first and foremost. But yeah, so you can just. But what works for me to put me in the healing space will be box breath. That's my go-to, right? And so it's breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4 for the count of 4, and hold for a count of 4. And if you do that, that would slow your nervous system down. And when you're in that state, you can think clearly. Your body's getting the oxygen that it needs. You're no longer in a fight or flight state. So if you just simply do that, open your window or go outside. But if you're inside, just open your window and let that air just come into your space, and just do that box breathing. And that will put you in a real peaceful state. And yeah, man, like I just fall into that state. Like, even I'm just doing it, even talking with you, I'm doing it, and I could just feel myself just calming down already. And you probably can hear it in my voice. My voice just got like real, like mellow. Yeah, man, like we definitely gonna be a one-stop shop for everything that's going to point you back to your power. That's what I'm involved in. Anything and everything that will point you back to your power, that's what we're attached to. And so, yeah, man, again, like, just hit us up. Like, if anything that I have said thus far has ignited something in you, woke up something in you, piqued your interest, just hit us up.